everybody, Tasha here with Butterfield Alpaca Ranch. I am back. I hope you had a wonderful winter. I know that I said my next video is going to be about my 2020 goals. I've been thinking a lot about those and I've pursued some of those, but making videos has obviously not happened. I am here today with my girls. And I'm just sitting here on the ground because I didn't know how long I was going to talk and thought I'd be a little more comfortable down here. But yeah, how is everyone doing? Today is March 25th of 2020, and so we are in the midst of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Most of the United States is staying home. Most of the country has pretty much shut down except for essential businesses, and that's mostly in the larger populated areas. There are some areas, such as mine, living in the state of Nebraska. Our governor has said he is not going to issue a stay-at-home mandate, or, they're calling them different things, but basically stay home mandate, only allowing essential businesses to remain open. Our governor said he's not going to issue that. I'm not quite sure the reasoning behind it. Most of this state is agriculture. A vast majority of the state is agriculture. So low populated areas. In fact, we have, I think it's 4 times as many cows as people in the state, if that tells you anything. We do have some larger populated areas like Omaha and Lincoln, which is the capital of the state. Those would be the 2 largest populated areas. I don't know if those cities in particular have issued any mandates to stay home, but it is highly recommended that you just limit your interaction with people. The governor did strongly say, do not gather in groups of 10 or more. Like, you can gather in groups of 10 or less, but don't do more than that. So, we are abiding by that recommendation. In fact, the churches around here have are all doing their services online in some way. I'm helping my church do that. So last Sunday was the first time in which we did that, and so that was pretty interesting. So our weekends, there's a fly. That's the first fly of the year I've seen. So yeah, what was I saying? About, the weekends have changed, Sundays have changed. It's getting to the point where people can't keep track of what day it is. I don't know if you're experiencing that, but it's been long enough you're like, you have to stop and think about what day it is. And especially when your weekends, like mine, now most of my days kind of run into each other except for the weekends. Well, now my weekends are changing, and yeah, I'm like, you have to stop and think, what day is it? What am I doing? Personally, for the most part, my life has not changed all that much, because my life, even before I work at home, I come to the ranch, even if there's a national shutdown, I'm still going to be allowed to come out here and take care of these animals. So I will still be able to, leave my home as long as it's ag-related or like life essentials kind of thing. What's happened though is some of the stores like Dollar General and Walmart and places like that have instituted a certain hour, usually the first hour of the day, that senior citizens can come in and shop, because the stores are closing early so they can do deep cleaning or cleaning and restock. And then they're allowing the senior citizens to be the first one to come in when they open, one, so they can get the things that they need. Because they're a population that, is suffering the most when people hoard stuff. And then second, they get to shop when the store is the cleanest, and that is a population that is most at risk for getting the coronavirus. My father is living with me right now, and guess what? He's in that age group, and he gets to go shop. So he's done that at both Dollar General and Walmart so far, taking advantage of those times. So he did get us more toilet paper. I don't know if anyone else has gone out and found more toilet paper. We're not hoarders. We're just getting stuff we need. We're down to like not all that many rolls. We're like, well, I don't know how long before, we're going to be able to get more or whatever. We were never at risk of being without But just kind of makes you feel better when you have an adequate supply, you know. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was spring. I am so excited. It is spring. Now, officially turned spring last Friday, and the coronavirus thing was in full swing, and everyone was really taken up with that, and no one talked about spring. I don't know if that was true for you, but like on social media, no one mentioned anything about spring. And hello, haven't we all been looking forward to this? I certainly have been. Um, so you could tell, maybe you can tell, it is super nice today. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yesterday was near 70. Today is just over 70, and it is beautiful. It feels so, so good. I'm actually a bit too warm. I wore a long sleeve shirt underneath a t-shirt, and I really just needed a t-shirt. This is warm. Um, what's exciting about this early spring is when you see the pastures start greening up, and you're like, "Oh, okay, we got through feeding the animals for the winter." And for me, that's one of the stresses of raising these animals, is making sure in wintertime that they have enough to eat. Um, so making sure I had bought enough hay or alfalfa or various things, whatever you feed them, um, to make sure that they're good. And there's certain times of the year when they're just so hungry. It's like you can't feed them enough. They're just so hungry. Um, some days it's like that, like when it's been super cold, they act more hungrier than other days. But like now, they're like, ho hum, alfalfa, sure, if you give it to me, I'll eat it, but I'm not gonna fight with my neighbor for it. They don't fight over the food right now, because they are finding bits of stuff in the pasture, and they would much, much rather graze than eat this dry stuff. Um, so it's nice seeing the pasture starting to green up, and they're going out more, and they're just more content. They lay out in the sun, and they cush in various places around the property, wherever they're allowed, and just the signs of them being very comfortable, very happy with life. Um, so that's super nice. The fly that we just saw go across the screen a little bit ago. Um, Not too happy about that, but hey, that comes with the warmer weather. We'll deal with it. Um, yeah. So spring. It is still March. Like I said, it's March 25th. So it's like barely spring, barely spring. Tomorrow the cold weather comes again. I think the temperature is going to drop like 25 degrees from today, maybe even 30 degrees. Um, so yeah, it's going to get colder again, but even so, I'll take it. I will take 40s over 20s, you know, any day, any day. So I'm just enjoying the warm weather and coming out to make a video for you. Um, Winter is not a fun time to be making videos. It's like you come, you do what you gotta do, and you leave. But also, I was having help this winter from my dad and my great uncle, and so it would never really felt like a good time to really make videos. And I didn't really want to come out on my own again, something like that. Um, yeah, just some of my thoughts. What else was I say about spring? Oh, yes. So, starting to feel like I'm kind of rambling, but I'm not. I had like ideas, things that I wanted to talk to you about, to kind of tell you about. Because with spring is exciting for me, here with the alpacas. One, because they're in their full fleece. Look at how fluffy they are. Fluffy, fluffy girls. Um, so April is when we clean out the barns. I'm so excited to clean all of this stuff, all the hay and we do deep bedding in the barns, and I get tired of the layers of the poop and the hay and all the stuff, and I love it when we get to clean out the barns and it goes back to dirt, and you're like, oh, there's just something about that, the barns being cleaned. Um, and then in May is shearing. Now this year, let's see, I had put myself on a list, to hire a shearer, because I was going to be working the 2020 census, as well as my other job. So I was not going to have time to shear. Um, and both of my parents were going to be working the census as well. And the census was going to start late April and go for at least 8 weeks, but until it was done. So that would have been right in the season of shearing. And I certainly did not want to wait till after that to shear. And I would not have had the time to do it on my own. So I chose to hire a crew to come, get everybody done in one day, and that be it. But with the coronavirus, the census has been pushed back. Right now, they said, hey, April 1st, we're going to reassess things and decide then. And honestly, the federal government, that's kind of their stance. April 1st, reassess, and they'll make some decisions about things. But because the census has been pushed back, and then going, well, are we going to be working in May? I don't know. We haven't even trained. The training was supposed to start this week, last week. For some of the people, my training was not going to start till April. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on this. What has happened is I'm still on the list for getting a shearer. Now, the shearing crews have pushed back their start dates by 2 weeks. So my animals will be sheared a bit later than expected. But with not doing the census, it opened up the option to shear ourselves. And it's a cheaper way to go, but of course it's much more labor intensive. And we can only do so many animals in a day. We got 32 alpacas and 8 llamas. Like, it's gonna take some time, as opposed to a crew coming in a few hours they're all done. Totally different. But yes, reopening the option of shearing ourselves because we're not doing the census. And there's the question of, do we want a crew coming? I don't know. I know they're going to take as many precautions as they can. Shearing is not something you can just postpone or not do. That's not even an option. You got to work your way around it, and just get it done. So our very serious option right now is to just shear ourselves. So with that, I need to look into supplies for that. More blades, maybe a new shearer, the actual equipment shearer, not the person, the equipment shearer. So yeah, so that's on the agenda. And I have talked for 13 minutes. Okay, so that's kind of how things stand right now. There has been a new development this winter at the ranch, something totally unexpected. I'm going to show you right here. Isn't she adorable? Isn't she adorable? Let's go find her. It is much windier out here, so I'm sorry if the wind interferes with our sound, but here she is. This is Winter. She was born January 13th. It was a Monday. I remember because I came to do chores, came with my great uncle to do chores, walked out under the lean-to, and there she was, cushed on the ground in front of her mother, who is Jessica. Jessica was standing over her, and Winter was just cushed there. She was dry already, and I started screaming, "There's a baby! There's a baby!" This is the middle of January. There's a baby! And I'm freaking out because I'm like, what are we going to do with a baby in the middle of winter? So, like I said, she was already dry. She is all white. Completely white. So cute. So let me zoom in on her. She is walking away. She's walking with her Aunt Molly there. I hear Jessica getting up behind us. Okay, as you look at her, you may think she looks a little different. Yes, she has an alpaca face and alpaca ears, but the rest of her is llama. Her mom's a llama and her dad is an alpaca. The lady that I got Molly and Jessica from last summer said, "Hey, she looks a lot like my male alpaca." I'm like, well, did he have access to these girls? Because both Jessica and Molly were pregnant. Molly did have a baby a week later, but we needed a vet assistance and the baby did not survive. But that was also a mostly white baby, and I'm pretty certain that they had the same father. So that male had access to them somehow, and here we go. So there is debate, or I don't know if debate's the right word, but there's not quite agreement on what you call an animal that the dad is an alpaca and the mom is a llama. Now, if the dad was a llama and the mom was an alpaca, they called it a Juarizo or Juarizo. I'm not quite sure exactly how to say it, but this is how it's spelled. And it's something completely different when it's alpaca dad, llama mom, like in this case. So I'm not quite sure exactly what you'd call her. Some people call them alpaca. So people understand that it's a cross of alpaca and llama. And yes, they can be crossbred, as you can see. They can be crossbred, and the offspring are fertile. But there's not really a market for an alpaca llama cross or their offspring. However, Winter, who is now, she's over 2 months old. She's actually the size of a 1-year-old alpaca, if that will tell you the size. At 2 months, she's as big as a 1-year-old alpaca. She is really big. She's really grown. She's big and fluffy. And she does have more alpaca behavior tendencies than, wait, did I say that wrong? I forget what I just said, but what I mean is she acts more like a llama than an alpaca. And this will work in my favor because she is very alert. She is aware of everything. She watches you a lot. She watches everything that's going on. It was super cute seeing her interact with her environment. Like, she's just picking up beans. She's a baby. She's picking up beans, and she's going to learn you don't actually eat those. She's gone through this phase where she puts everything in her mouth, dirt and anything she can get her mouth on, just like a little baby. They put everything in their mouth as they're exploring their environment, and she's still going through that. Okay, now she's on grass. Yes, honey, that is what you eat. You don't need that other stuff. But they have to try it to learn one way or the other. And from what I can see so far, because of her alertness and the way she interacts with the herd, she is going to be a really good guard. That is my expectation at this point. She's going to make a really good guard. And so in my mind, I have been thinking of her and treating her more like a llama than an alpaca. These are the only 2 llamas that she knows. She's with them a lot, obviously. They're the ones that are super bonded to her. But there's also times when Molly and Jessica are over in the lean-to or in the barn area somewhere, and the rest of the herd is out here in the pasture, but Winter's out here with the alpacas, and she's in the middle of them. There's obviously her herd. She's obviously really bonded to them. This is her home. This is all she knows, and I have no intention of getting rid of her. I want to use her, because Jessica and Molly, I have to have replacements for them. I don't know their ages. At any time, anything could happen. I want to make sure that I have the setup here that I want. There's Why are you doing that while I'm videoing this? Why are you showing her when you're eating poop? That is not good. My plan is to rebreed Jessica this spring to one of my male llamas, so we get another llama. Unfortunately, Molly's cria that did not make it was also a female, and that would have been great because that would have been, for one, a playmate for Winter, but also, like I said, replacements. I need replacements for Molly and Jessica because I don't know how long they're going to be around. I don't know their ages. They seem in very good health. Jessica's been an amazing mom, amazing mom. She's done a really good job, and I'm pretty sure Molly would have done the same thing. I know that both Jessica and Molly have adult, I guess Koreas, but adult offspring at the last place, or at the place I got them from. So I know they have experience with that, but because of the difficult birth that Molly went through, I'm not going to breed her this year, or at least this spring. I don't know, might consider it in the fall if I decide that it's needed, but I want to give her body a break, and Jessica has done great, so I'm going to rebreed her and hope for another female, because I got lots of male llamas. I need a female llama, and that will be a full llama rather than Winter, who's half llama. Now we are over in the girls' pasture, but way out there, I don't know if you can tell, maybe it's going to be kind of grainy. Can you tell? The boys are out there. There they are. I was like, I know. Gotta get them in frame, right? There's the boys. Way out there. Yeah, way out there. Here I am in the boys' barn. This is Vinny just behind me, the little rascal Vinny. But they're adorable. I got a few of the boys from this group here. This group has the best pasture, and so they are the most satisfied right now. I'm hardly giving them anything extra. They do have a bale of hay just outside here, so even if they're not out in the pasture, they've got some to eat. The alfalfa, I was weaning them off little by little, you know, each day giving them less and less as the weather was changing. And then now, because their pasture is greening up, I'm skipping some days. Today's one of those days. But on the other side there is my other group of boys, which have a smaller pasture, and they have more of a warm season grass over there, so it's not coming in like the one for this bigger group. So I do still give them more than this group, just to make sure that they are getting enough. I mean, they're still acting satisfied, they're not coming in hungry or anything, but I'm just trying to make sure that they got what they need and that kind of thing. See, and Vinny's like, okay, time to give me alfalfa, but in all honesty, he does not need it. He doesn't need it. You don't need it now. Alfalfa's candy. Alfalfa's candy to them, so yeah, he's grumpy. Yeah. Something I didn't mention earlier about the coronavirus is that, as far as I can tell, as far as I know, it cannot be transmitted to animals. So there's not a concern about it affecting my animals here, my livestock. He's such a character. Yeah, and there's someone back there. I don't know who all is humming after him. So I had originally intended to talk in this video also about my 2020 goals, but this video has gotten pretty long, so I'm going to split it up, and in a couple of days I'll come back to you with that video. Pretty interesting. I did start the year with some goals, and I did accomplish some of those. Maybe not so much other ones. Like, I meant to do videos, haven't done videos, but I've done other stuff, and I'll talk to you some about that. But then also looking forward this year about how some of my plans have changed because of the coronavirus, and some of the things that alpaca owners are having to think about, especially those involved in agritourism, and how that is going to affect our business this year. So kind of talking about some of those things. I am going to come to you from my home office because there's some resources there that I want to share with you. That's Riley just behind me. You love bug for an alpaca. And I love these guys. I'll come back to you in another couple of days with that video. and some of my future plans and what we're going to be talking about this year and what I'm going to be doing here at the ranch. And now that spring has started, a lot of those kinds of things are coming into place. So I will see you on the next video in just a few days. Bye!